Two letters, one word, but for many of us, it's hard to use it effectively. Coming up, why is it so difficult to say no to the things we really should walk away from? But before we get started, you know the drill. Hit the subscribe button and click the bell so you'll always be reminded when new videos are posted. Now let's get started. How hard is it for you to say no? Come on, be honest. I know from time to time it's tough for me to say no. And so consequently, we end up doing things that we really don't want to do. Why is that? Saying no can trigger a lot of negative emotions like rejection or disappointment or even guilt. And we don't want to feel that. And so we go along to get along, right? But in the end, we pay a price for that. In the book, Saying No, The Power of Saying No by Vanessa Patrick, she says that we are hardwired to be helpful and cooperative. That makes sense, right? Think about it. A friend asks you to do something and you want to be helpful, so you tend to say yes, right? Or a coworker needs something, you want to cooperate, and so you say yes. But always saying yes can lead to stress and anxiety and even burnout if you take it to the extreme. It also affects your self-esteem and your confidence level. So, why do we do that? I know that we're hardwired to be helpful and to be cooperative, but why do we find it so hard to say no to the things that don't align with who we are and what we want? Let's look at some of those reasons. Number one, a lot of times you say yes because you want to maintain the relationship with the person. And you fear, if I say no, that, that relationship will be damaged or they won't come back to you or, associate with you anymore. I know it's happened to me, right? I turned down an invitation for a holiday party once. I never got another invitation. Right? We don't want that to happen. We want to maintain our relationships. So when someone asks you to do something or to attend a group and you want to be part of that group, what do? You say, yes, I would be happy to. Other reasons, we don't want to, make the person, we don't want to put a strain on the relationship. We don't want to make it awkward by saying no. We don't want to appear selfish or uncaring about the person. Going back to what Vanessa Patrick says, we're hardwired to be helpful, right? We're hardwired to be cooperative, right? That's already in us. And so we tend to say yes, even though it may be at a cost to ourselves. I know when I was in corporate America, I would say yes to a lot of things that I did not want to do. One, I wanted to maintain the relationship. I wanted to be part of the in group, right? I also wanted them to think that I was a team player. I wanted them to, to welcome me in. And so I said yes to a lot of things. I took on more projects than I should have because I wanted to be part of the group. So I said yes over and over and over again. And I thought my yeses would help me climb the corporate ladder. I thought my yes would put me in places where I would meet important people, who could help me climb the corporate ladder. So I had a whole stack of reasons why I would say yes. But the cost of saying yes was that I felt many times overwhelmed, overworked. I was exhausted because I was like a hamster on a wheel. I was constantly running, trying to please other people, trying to make sure other people thought positively about me. I was always running to make sure that people knew that, I wanted to be part of their group, right? But, it took a toll. And it didn't help build my confidence because I never felt like I could say no. I didn't feel as though I had the power to say no. And then I rarely had the time to build my authentic self. Like, what did Constance really believe in and have passion for? I was always meeting someone else's needs. Does that feel that way in your life? That you're constantly on the go. You're constantly the yes person. You're constantly the one that everyone comes to ask for a favor because they know you're going to say yes. Are you the person who, your coworker will say, please, 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 will you, work on this project, or will you pick this report up for me and do it? Will you do whatever? And there are a host of things that we say yes to in our private and in our career lives and in our professional lives. So being a yes person doesn't help you build your confidence. It doesn't help you stand on your 2 feet. It doesn't help you to know who you are and what you believe in. And that's where we start. If you want to know how to say no, get in touch with yourself. What is it that you believe in? What are your values? What are your beliefs? What are your priorities? That's a key one. What are your priorities? You see, if your priority is to spend time with your family and someone asks you to go to an event that you don't want to go to, that you don't think is worth the time, it's an easy no, because it doesn't align with what's important to you. What's your purpose? What's your passion? Knowing that will help you be able to say no. What are the boundaries? One of the boundaries I developed was that after I worked my workday, that I would not take any emails or any calls. That was a boundary. It was unacceptable just to, I understand emergencies. I'm not talking about emergencies. I'm not talking about when something, comes up that is urgent, important. I'm talking about when people just, consume your time because they can. I established that boundary. That was a hard no for me. And I felt empowered when I enforced that boundary. But I had to know what was a hard no for me. What's a hard no for you? What is non-negotiable for you? Is it that you don't work on the weekends? That might be something. Is it that you don't lend money? That's a hard no for a lot of people. What are the things that lead you? What are the things that don't align with your values, your purpose, your priorities, as I said? If the request doesn't align with who you see yourself as or who you see yourself becoming, then it's a hard no. And to start off, I want you to start off small. So if you struggle with saying no and your boss comes to you with a project, I know that's going to be difficult. I know you're not going to go, no, I cannot do that, right? That's not going to happen. So start slow, start small, and then build up to it, right? Because every time that you say no, your confidence builds. And so start small and keep going. Now, I don't want you to be like Madam No or Mr. No. I don't want every request that comes to you, every, proposal that comes to you for you to just go, no, I'm not going to do it. That's not what this is about. This is about being able to focus in on what is important to you and where you're going, and not allowing all the outside things that drain your time and your energy to affect where you're going, right? That's what this is about. I'm not saying say no to everything that comes your way. There are going to be times when your friend is going to say, hey, you want to go, go to a movie? Yeah, I'd like to, right? For no other reason than, yeah, I want to do that. But if somebody comes up to you with, hey, let's go to the movies, and you know you don't have time to do that, or you know that that was the time you set aside to take care of yourself, to do something that would really help you self-care, then it's a no. And you shouldn't feel guilty about saying no. Here's the thing. I know you've heard this a gazillion times. No is a complete sentence. What do I mean by that? Don't negotiate it. Don't negotiate it. And I want you to say no in a way that communicates to people that they can't keep coming at you for a yes. You know what I'm talking about. When you say, you give a weak no, like, no, I don't think so. And then the person goes, oh, come on, please, 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 I'd do it for you. I know you've heard all of that before, right? I'd do it for you. And then you cave in, right? I want you to be able to say, I cannot do that at this time. I am already committed to do something else. I want you to use your voice to take a stand and to mean it. Don't go back on it. Again, this isn't an episode that is, hey, how to say no to everything. This is an episode to say, I want you to get in touch with what you want, who you are becoming, what your passion and your purpose is. I want you to get in touch with that. And from there, I want you to start to develop boundaries. And those boundaries will allow you to effectively say no to the things that you really need to say no to. The things that aren't going to really help you reach your ultimate goal. Say no to the things that aren't going to empower you to be the authentic leader that you are striving to be. Think about that. So, I told you earlier that I was invited to a holiday party. I didn't go, and I haven't gotten a holiday invitation since then. And it's been probably a couple of years now. And it's okay. It's okay. I didn't want to go to that event. I didn't think that I needed to go to that event. It didn't align with, what I wanted and where I was going. And so I didn't go, and it's okay that I didn't get another invite. Your friends and the people who really support and love you understand when you say no. They're not going to bully you into a yes. But those are the folks who you need to keep around you. Those people who have the best interest, who have your best interest at heart. So let's say that you are invited to something and you say no. And somebody who you really trust comes to you and says, I think you should rethink that for XYZ. And if it's a no, it's a no. Then you could trust that person. But don't just cave into the please, please, please. That's what my little nephew used to do to me for Christmas gifts or for whatever it is he wanted. It was always the please, please, please. And it would get me every time. My no would instantly turn into a yes. And I'm betting that often when this happens to you, your no turns into a yes. So what I'm encouraging you to do is to think about who you are and where you're going. Think about your priorities and your values. Think about how whatever the request is, how does that align with who you are? And if it's a no, then make it a hard no. And if it's a yes, make it a hell yes. Don't be wishy-washy. Don't leave room for someone to come along and try to convince you to do things that you really don't want to do, or to do things that really don't align with who you are and what you find important. When I started to use my voice to say no, I felt so much better. I felt more in control of my life and my time and my focus. And that's what I think you're going to find. Learning how to say no is a vote in favor of who you are becoming. It's going to increase your ability to focus in on what's important to you. And that's the most important thing. That's the most important thing. I want you to be able to focus in and use your most precious resource, which is your time. Use your time effectively. Use your time to make sure you are moving in the direction that you want to move into for the new year, or for any time really. So I want you to think about that. Think about, how do you effectively start using the word no? And again, I'm not saying no to everything. I'm saying no to the things that take you off track. Say no to the things that derail you. All right, let me know what resonated with you in this episode. And let me know if you need help finding a way, developing a way to say no. Direct message me. Leave me a message in the comments section, and I will make sure that I follow up. Learning how and when to say no will be one of the most valuable tools you'll ever develop, and one of the most valuable tools that you will ever use. And I want to encourage you to really let this information sink in, and I want you to follow through. So, reminder, hit the subscribe button and click the bell so you'll be notified when any new videos come out. I would love for you to join me and to subscribe to this channel. I'm Constance Howard, Executive Coach, and I'll see you next week.